It's time for Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday.
The North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score some great deals on award-winning Hondas. Stop by your Helpful Honda dealer today or visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more.
Thanks, Honda.
Thanks, Honda.
Love you, North Texas Honda dealers.
We do.
It's Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. Get your questions in high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel. We should talk a little bit about last night. So last night across the board, really across Texas high school football, I don't know how much attention you were paying to the app or to our scores page, texasfootball.com/scores. A lot of blowouts.
Yeah.
It was a lot of games that were not particularly close. So I'm going to focus on what I think is the biggest story to come out of last night. And I'm not just saying that because we were there. But it actually is one of the biggest stories, I think, in Texas high school football this week. And that is the El Paso Socorro Bulldogs. Because last night, the final score at R.R. Jones Stadium in El Paso, in front of the Dave Campbell State football crew, in front of Matt Stepp, in front of the Ashley Pickle.
That's insane.
It was.
They were probably nervous.
El Paso Socorro 46, El Paso 23. And you're probably thinking, why in the world should I care about that? And here's why. Because the last time that we were talking about El Paso Socorro winning a game was September 11th, 2015.
That's awesome.
Nearly 6 years to the day since they won their last game. They had lost 53 straight on the field. They did win. This comes with a little bit of an asterisk because last year they won 2 forfeit games. Mm-hmm. Like they had, I think El Paso Americas couldn't field a team, so they had a forfeit win. We don't count that, right? That's different than winning on the field, right?
Right.
I think we can all agree on that
for sure.
So 53 consecutive losses, done. They snap the losing streak with a big win last night, 46-23. That 53-game losing streak, by the way, is tied for the 4th longest in Texas high school football UIL 11-man history. Mm-hmm. Houston Jefferson Davis set the all-time record at 80. Diamond Hill Jarvis had 77 losses in a row. Houston Scarborough lost 59 in a row at one point, and they are tied with Kuntz, who lost from 1977 to 82. They lost 53 in a row. But talking with Tony Hensley, the coach there at Socorro afterwards, you can see our interview up on YouTube. I believe we got up on TexasFootball.com.
Yes, I did see that. It is up right now.
You can tell how much it means to him, how emotional he was, how excited he was for his kids. He took over that program. He mentions he took over that program in 2019. They had 17 kids in the football program. They're a 6A team. They had 17 kids in the football program. Because why would you go out there just to get your butt kicked?
Right.
But he has built that program. And we had a feeling that this might happen because they are very clearly better than they have been. If you look over the course of that 53-game losing streak, guys, it's a lot of butt kickings. It's a lot of 55-7s. It's a lot of 60-10s. It's a lot of just blowouts, right? Mm-hmm. They came within a point of being El Paso Isleta. In the opener, they played Bel Air, who's a pretty good team out there in El Paso, and they held, I think it was 21-6 was the final. They were in games, which was clearly a step forward, going up against El Paso High, who's a 5A Division II team, and a team that I think they match up with pretty well. And sure enough, they took it to them. They run this kind of flex bone misdirection offense. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, if you've ever seen Gunner play, it's a little bit like that. That's probably the best avatar I can give it. Is that it's kind of like a pistol flex bone offense. A lot of misdirection, and they were clearly bigger than El Paso High School, so they get the win. A remarkable. We're so happy for Tony Hensley and that Socorro squad. We would be remiss if we did not thank our hosts out there, El Paso High School, Coach Ray Aguilar Jr., just a first-class guy and a first-class program that he's running there. And by the way, good crowd out there. They had a student section that was there, and they were not there to sit on their hands.
That's awesome.
They were rowdy the whole time. This big student. I would put
they should be.
I would put that El Paso High School Tigers. They call them the Hill Raisers. Mm-hmm. I would put the Hill Raisers up against any student section in the state. That student section was loud and rowdy for a team that was behind a lot of the game. You know what I mean? But they were into it the whole time.
Right.
Super cool. Great atmosphere there. We're going to talk a lot more about our trip to El Paso and our trip to R.R. Jones Stadium next week here on Texas Football Today. I want to make sure we get to include Pickle in this because she's got a lot to say.
Yeah. You see, now you're going to have to go to every game now. they're going to want you to go to every
Socorro?
game. Yeah.
Yeah, but on the flip side, I'm now banned from R.R. Jones Stadium because El Paso lost.
Yeah.
Like Aguilar's he's like, yeah, you gotta get out of here, dude. No, it was
we can't have
it
you
was
here.
just so fantastic, and so we feel great for El Paso Socorro. El Paso High is going to be fine. I'm not worried about that program. That program's the trajectory is moving in a positive direction. This is a minor step back, but I think they're going to be fine. There's like I said, two programs that are moving in the right direction, that have the right guys at the helm to get them moving forward. But you can't help but feel good for that program and the people around it. We were talking about it, like those. I just think about like the cheerleaders. Okay?
Yeah.
Those senior cheerleaders who have been there, they're now seniors, okay? Freshman year, they didn't win a game. Sophomore year, they didn't win a game. Junior year, they didn't win a game. Do you know how much that sucks? Like, do you know how much that sucks?
Yeah, because
to go and just your team just like, nope, we're going to lose again.
Yeah, because I mean, I was a high school cheerleader, and your job is to get the crowd pumped up and excited for this team, and in this case, excited for a team that hasn't won a game in a couple years.
Hasn't won a game
got to be hard,
in almost
you know?
6 full years.
Right.
That's why I was so excited for them, and you could see
That's
it. You could
feel
see
good.
it. Like it was a lot of hugs, it was a lot of excitement, and a lot of just like they, It was super cool, and I was really happy for Socorro.
That's
Obviously,
awesome.
We think super highly of Coach Ray Aguilar and El Paso High. We would have been happy either way, but it was super cool to see that long losing streak end.
Yeah.
All right, Pal, we got about 15 minutes to hammer out some questions. Does anybody have any questions about things?
About things. Mostly Texas high school football
That's
questions.
probably what I was going to say.
Yeah. We've got a popular one here. Thoughts on Port Lavaca Calhoun, those sand crabs, versus El Campo?
Yeah, a fun matchup. Interesting to see how El Campo bounces back. Last week obviously did not go as they were hoping for. Now there's a couple of reasons behind that. They did end up, they did lose. Let's remember to Fulshear. Fulshear is a 5A program. But from what we understand, they might have like 6A numbers in the building right now. Like they're going to go up next year. So I don't put a ton of stock into that. So now they take on Calhoun. And here's an interesting thing about this, is that Calhoun is, in my mind, they play a very similar style with them in that they're going to be smash mouth. They want to run the ball at you. We obviously think extremely highly of Richard Whitaker. A lot of this comes down to which El Campo defense I think shows up. Because, look, plain and simple, through the first 2 weeks of the season, El Campo's defense has been the weaker part of their team, right? Even when they won their opener against Gonzalez, they gave up 34 points, right? The defense has been a bit of an issue, and Calhoun is the kind of team that will wear you down if you let them. I think this is an important game. I think this game is more important for El Campo than it is for Calhoun. Because if El Campo falls to 1-2, yeah, they're going to beat Wharton next week, in my opinion. But then they go to Bernie Champion to close out non-district. They could feasibly come out of go into district play at 2-3. Now, I'm not saying that's a death knell, right? But this is an El Campo program, an El Campo team that, with all the talent they've got, guys like Ruben Owens, we think they've got an opportunity to really make some noise. This would be the kind of game there in 4A Division I that you can say, no, we are that serious. And by the way, let's not forget, oh no, that's right, they're in District 12. I'm sorry, I was just about to say something dumb.
Oh, I'm glad you did.
They could meet them, but they wouldn't meet them until a semifinal matchup. This is, for me, if you take a look at Region 2, I don't know that there is some runaway front runner there in Region 2. Maybe it's one of those teams from out east like Tyler Chapel Hill or Kilgore. But if El Campo, I think this would go a long way towards establishing themselves at least as one of the teams to be reckoned with in Region 2 or Region 3 rather. If Calhoun, like if El Campo wins this game, I don't think it's panic time for Calhoun. El Campo's a good team. They go on the road to El Campo. I think this is going to be a super physical matchup. I think this does have an opportunity to be a bit of a high-scoring matchup. The Calhoun offense has been a little bit stuck in the mud through the first two, but I wonder if they can get going in this one. I'm very interested in this one. This is one that I'm gonna be keeping a close eye on tonight. And if you like physical football and two well-coached football teams with Chad Worrell there at El Campo and Richard Whitaker at Calhoun, you're gonna like this game. So I think it's gonna be fun. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, that was good. Okay. This one, I like this one. Thoughts on LBJ versus Waco La Vega?
Yeah. Talk about
And-
another team, another game that they're gonna take cinder blocks to one another.
Yeah,
I
and it's in
mean,
the picks. So watch that.
Super. Yeah, it's in the picks. Expertly edited by
Yours truly.
Malpal.
Yes.
I think Step and I are on opposite ends of this game.
Mm-hmm. I figured.
Because he really likes LBJ in this one. And one of the things he likes is that he thinks they're a little bit more balanced offensively. He thinks that they've got that power running game, but Oscar Gordon has an opportunity to put them over the top. For La Vega, they are this. I mean, this is a. This is as La Vega gets. This is the most La Vega football team that I've seen in a while. They are straight up power running football.
Yeah.
I mean, they are gonna just beat. They want to. I believe Matt Stepp on Tep and Step said they just want to beat the crap out of you.
Yeah.
Like they just want to knock you around, and they're physical and they want to outmuscle you. A lot of this game, in my opinion, as most La Vega games come down to, is what happens in the fourth quarter. Does La Vega wear down LBJ? Are they able to do that? I like La Vega in this one.
Yeah.
Step likes LBJ. I think it's a coin flip type game. We have our computer projections up at texasfootball.com. The computer has it. Are you interested in what the computer has it?
Yes.
They have it as they have LBJ by 10, which is way too rich for me.
Yeah. I think it's
this
be closer than
I think it's
that.
going to be close. I think it's reasonable to think that LBJ wins this game, but I don't know if I see a 10-point game. I think this is going to be super physical. A lot of this comes down to how well the La Vega defense plays. They've been excellent so far, but the other thing is La Vega's cruised in their first two games, but they have overmatched those two teams. This is a team that is much more in their weight class, and by the way, starts a run here in non-district. Okay, here's their next 6 games, all right? Their end of non-district and the beginning of district, okay? La Vega's next 6 games. They're at LBJ tonight. Next week, they take on Argyle. Hold on. The week after that, they're at Corpus Christi Miller. Okay? Bye week, get into district play against Stephenville. Then they play Brownwood, who I think is improving. And then on October 22nd, week 9, they play Midlothian Heritage. Okay? A brutal stretch here. And so for LBJ, or rather, so La Vega and LBJ, a lot to tell you. On the opposite end of it, for LBJ, in my opinion, I think they're going to be – now, next week they get Liberty Hill. And Liberty Hill's still a little bit of a mystery box to me. I still don't know. And then they play San Antonio Cornerstone. I'm starting to think San Antonio Cornerstone, this might be a down year for them. But they're going to be, in my opinion, the favorite in their district over the Lampasas of the world, over the Fredericksburgs, the Burnetts of the world. I think they're going to be the favorite in those. So this is in many ways – next week Liberty Hill will be another interesting test. I think this is one of their last big tests, one of our last opportunities to learn a lot about this LBJ team tonight. So, fun game. Super excited. Watch the picks.
Yeah, watch the picks. All right, this one's good. Should Pottsboro be worried starting off the season 0-2, lost to Nevada Community and Gunter?
Okay. Short answer is I'm basically never going to tell a high school football team to panic after two weeks because I don't believe in that. I also think, obviously, I hope you know this by now, but like losing to Gunter is like not, there's no shame in that.
Right.
But here's what I will say about them. Pottsboro has certainly got to figure out their defense because the defense is getting torched right now. And by the way, that ain't going to play when you've got Mineola still in district play, right? That's not going to play. I think that they've got to figure out their defense. I think that we maybe anticipated a bit of a step back for them. The defense was always going to be pretty young. It's not panic time. But what I will say, who do they have this week? Let me see. I'm looking on this great website.
I had it up.
I'm looking on this great website. But they've got to shore up their defense. They've given up 56 points in each of their, or 56 and 51 points. They get Howe.
Yeah.
They should beat Howe. Like, I'll tell you when to panic. Okay. Is that right? They play Howe? Or that
Yes.
team? Okay.
Yes. At
Oh,
Howe.
I'm sorry. They're off. I'm.
I guess no. They've got a bye week.
I guess so. I don't know. The schedule's all messed up. I think there's maybe a cancellation in there. They should beat Howe. If they lose to Howe, then I'm starting to worry. But I would say that right now there's no real need for Pottsboro to panic. But shore up that defense, figure things out defensively. Because if you don't do that, then you're toast, especially in what's a really high-flying region, too, there. So I would say it's not panic time quite yet. Matt Poe knows what he's doing. I defer to him in pretty much everything. But I think he understands that the defense has got to be better. What's next, Pickle?
It's not Pickle.
Whatever.
I think
you should hyphenate your last name just so I'm right.
Just so you're right.
What's
okay.
next, Mallory? Sorry.
I'm going to call you out every time.
You should. Yeah. I deserve it.
We're going to go with thoughts on those spring Lions. This is from our good friend Trevor at Texan Live. He did that game last night.
Yeah, by the way, Trevor, I did see your tweet. I know you want to get like maximum Lions going. That's not how this works. That's not how this works.
It's not.
Look, I've been trying to tell y'all, this is like one of my like darling teams this year. I think spring's awesome. And a lot of it comes down to the fact that I really like their quarterback. I think Bishop Davenport's a dynamo. And Matt Stepp and I were talking about this last night. I think Bishop Davenport, if you watch his film, he's got a little bit of a funky throwing motion. It's a little loosey-goosey. And I think that's keeping people from really hopping on board. He's a Utah State commit, but I feel like somebody should take a chance on him. He's got 2 FBS offers. It's like Utah State and I can't even remember. Tulsa is the other one. It's like
really,
and I'm like that feels like somebody needs to swoop in. Texas State, UTEP, somebody swoop in and grab this kid because I think he's a star. The thing that's been most impressive to me and the thing that has me excited about potentially being right about spring being serious is that I think their defense looks really good. I think their defense has been very strong throughout their first three games. Now, look, I think they've been better than all 3 of their non-district opponents. They played Fort Bend Travis, Klein Oak, and Tomball Memorial. I think they're better than all 3 of those teams. They get a bye week this week, and then they get into district play 2 weeks from, or I guess it's 3 weeks from now. October 1st is the big one. That's when they get Spring Westfield. They get Spring Westfield. That is, to me, the only team in their district that, in my opinion, is in their weight class, right? So we're now 3.5 weeks away, 3 weeks away from spring in Westfield. That'll tell a lot of it. I think this spring team's really good, guys. I think they've got an opportunity to make some noise. Could they? Let me see. You're listening to live coverage of me pulling up.
People should just expect this by now.
Enrollments here on Texas football today. Get involved in the conversation. #TF today. Let's see. Can they go to the Division II bracket? Because that'd be dope. I don't think they can. 31-60. 34. No, they're toast. There is no way. No, they're locked into Division I. So that's problematic. But they are in Region 2, which is better than being in Region 3. But, I mean, it's not all sunshine and daffodils there because you're going to have to go through Duncanville. Yep. That's neither here nor there. That's a long time away. I'm just here to tell you, I think spring's serious. I don't think this is a fluke. I think that we saw this coming.
Yeah.
And I'm on the Lions bandwagon. So there you go. What's next, Mallory?
You want 2 more?
Let's do 2 more.
Okay. Can Cedar Hill hang with Allen? I've seen a Cedar Hill game this year, so
I'm worried.
Yeah.
I'm worried. Now look, it's a bounce back opportunity for both of these teams, right? I mean, Cedar Hill did win last week. They beat your beloved Colts.
They did.
And they looked good doing it.
They hung with Rockwall in that first half, but
I don't know if they have that explosive dynamo offense that they've had the past couple of years. I think that offense is a little bit more it's a little bit more of a struggle to move up and down the field. They take on Allen, going to Allen Eagle Stadium. I don't think Allen's losing twice at home when they haven't lost.
Yeah. They're going to come out strong.
Once in 10 years. I would say I think this is an opportunity. I think Allen looks at this as an opportunity to get right. Now, look, here's an Allen defense that has certainly struggled, right? Certainly struggled. And so if this gets into a shootout, game on. But I worry that the Cedar Hill defense is now they've played good offenses, right? I think Arlington's got a competent offense. Rockwall needs no introduction at this point. They play good offenses, but I do think that this is not like Allen probably wants to get this thing into a shootout, or rather Cedar Hill Probably wants to get this thing into a shootout because I don't know if their defense can come up with stops.
Yeah.
And I also worry if they can match up front. That's a big question for me. I like Allen in this one, not just because they're at home, but I like Allen in this one. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, certainly, look, I think Carlos Lynn is a supremely good coach. Obviously, I think the same as Chad Morris. So I never count him out of a game. And I think that they may have something that – but I worry that defense is going to be their undoing. All right. Give me an ender, Malpal.
Okay. What is the backstory concerning Vince Young's Player of the Year trophy? Why didn't he receive it, and why won't he come to pick it up? We ask him all the time.
A lot of good questions. What you're referring to is this. This
yes.
is Vince Young's, brought to you by Gulf Lubricants, the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Class 5A Player of the Year trophy from 2005, made out to Vincent Young at Houston-Madison. So when I came on board here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football in 2011, I get into the office, and one thing, and Malpal, you're new to here as well.
Yes.
So I think you're understanding this phenomenon too, which is there's just a lot of weird crap sitting around.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of stuff. Like there's just like everywhere you look, it's like there's like a thing, and you're like, huh?
Yeah.
Look at that. Like because we're kind of a memorabilia shop too. Like we just kind of collect stuff over the course of like 60-something years of being the authority on football in the state of Texas.
Well, I'm like looking at your little space over here, and you've got 3 cups under the desk, 2 coffee cups next to you. So there's just like stuff everywhere.
I just meant actual cool things, but okay. Like a Dave bobblehead.
There is just stuff everywhere,
like a Dave bobblehead.
Yeah.
Like an Aaron Jones bobblehead.
That's pretty cool.
Aaron Jones. Anyway, just stuff all everywhere.
It's cool we get to keep
so when I
trophy.
showed up in 2011, we had 2. We had 2 Player of the Year trophies. I cannot remember. Ryan Moats was the other one. Ryan Moats, formerly, I believe, a Houston Texans running back. He was also one. I believe he ended up coming and getting his.
Oh.
But
cool.
I found this, and I'm like, this is super cool. Look at this. We have the Player of the Year trophy for Vince Young. I don't know how he never received it. I don't know. I don't know the backstory for that. All I know is that we've had a couple of close encounters with Vince. Back in 2015, we went to Austin, and we did a show in Austin, and we brought the trophy, and Vince was going to come. This is like episode 70 or something like that. We're on 1,238 or 38 or whatever. He was going to come. He ended up not coming. We're now like 6 years after that.
Yeah.
Right? And he still hasn't. It's taken some lumps. As you can see, it's missing a chunk there. It's missing a chunk there.
Well,
it's been loved. But here's the thing. It's a cool trophy.
Yeah.
It's a cool, unique trophy. And I know he should have a Heisman. He doesn't. This can be his Heisman.
Yeah.
If he wants
Well,
to
Pickle saw him last week
I
in
know.
Austin and yelled at him to come
She
get his
yelled at
trophy, and he didn't.
I don't know. I don't think here's the truth of it. I don't think Vince Young is ducking us.
No.
I just don't think
busy.
I just don't think Vince Young knows. So if you know Vince Young, please text him.
Please.
And tell him that Dave Campbell's Texas Football has his Player of the Year trophy from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And then we would really appreciate it if he would come and pick it up. Because let's be honest, I mean, look, I'll just peel back the curtain entirely. The whole point of this is to trick him into an interview.
Right.
That's the whole point.
And get pictures with him.
Yes. Is to
and autographs.
is to make this a big enough deal so that when he does finally get it, we can make it into a big social media thing. We'll do a super cut of me asking him for 6 years to come get the Player of the Year trophy at the end of every episode.
Man.
And then we'll finish it with him sitting right here talking with me and holding it.
That
That's
would
the
be
whole point.
iconic.
Listen, this is what we in the business call a long play. Okay? This is a long content play. And who knows? Maybe he'll never come get it, but I hope he will. Vince, it's waiting for you in Louisville, Texas.
It is.
DM me at Tepper. I don't think he does Twitter. All right, we got to get out of here because Malpal's got some important things.
I have a game tonight.
Got to get. Where are you going?
Hebron and Eaton.
That's right, Hebron and Eaton. Should be
I
fun.
love those 2 programs. I really do. I've covered a bunch of games at Hebron and Eaton, so it'll
Two
be
good
fun to see
coaches,
them.
too.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, love. Obviously, we love Coach
Yeah.
Brazel and Ellis
Coach-
Miller's. Ellis Miller's
Yeah,
good
yeah.
people too. So,
Good people.
thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And of course, see us at textball.com. 7 o'clock tonight. Please watch Valley Sports Southwest. My bosses want me to tell you that. It's 6 hours of live high school football coverage. Football Friday from 7 to 11 with myself, Aaron Hardigan, Aaron Hardigan, CT Steckel, and Coach Kemp Purcell. followed by the Emmy Award-winning High School Scoreboard Live with myself, Rick Renner, and Craig Way, taking you all the way to 1 a.m. As Rick is fond of saying, mayhem in the a.m. I'll be awfully caffeinated, but I'm going to go get a nap. Until then, Vince Young, please come get your Player of the Year trophy. We will see you Monday on Texas Football Today.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.